Top 10 Magic Tricks That Failed Miserably Caught on Camera. Abracadabra! Bibbidi bobbidi boo! Who would forget these lines when we are watching shows that are incorporated with magic tricks? Magic tricks are actually illusions carried out perfectly by the magicians. Growing up, watching these made us think it's possible to get a rabbit from a hat, swallow a sword, escape from a box, and the famous trick in which a woman is being split into two. The German army during World War II? This idea sparkled in the mind of Jasper Maskelyne, a British illusionist who volunteered to help in the War Department. He and the 13 men he gathered worked together and called their group as the Magic Gang. With their amazing tricks, they have successfully deceived the Germans by making an illusion of the German battleship using mirrors and a model of a ship. Second was when they hid in the Suez Canal from Erwin Rommel, the German field marshal, along with his army, by using optical illusions like inflatable tanks and fake railway lines. Now you know that aside from watching them from magic show, they can also help in bringing peace in the country. Many people have been inspired by the famous magicians like Siegfried and Roy, Robert Houdini, Harry Houdini, Penn and Teller, and more. Indeed, their tricks are unbelievable and breathtaking. But this only proves that they are well seasoned to achieve them because those who tried their dangerous stunt end up losing their lives or fall in great tragedy. Before we show them to you, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell for more interesting videos. You may have watched different magic shows, but today, we screened out the stunts that went horribly wrong to give you our list of top 10 magic tricks that failed miserably caught on camera. Number 1. The Beheaded Performer. Remember when we told you about the famous trick of the girl being split into two? This is what the magician is trying to do in this video. To make it look more thrilling to the audience, instead of just using the usual sharp iron sheet, the magician added a chainsaw. As the model performer lay down on the rectangular box with her mouth covered, the plan was to split her into three. The first cut in the abdominal part was successful. The people were shocked but applaud when the magician tickled the feet of the performer and responded. The next part to cut is the head. The audience doesn't know how to react in this part because they can see that the performer's head is really there. The magician has tried and practiced this before, so he was sure that he was doing it precisely. However, when he cut the performer's head, the blood started to squirt and the fake head fell down on the side of the box. But shockingly, the head that he cut from the chainsaw remains inside. That was the time that they realized that the trick went wrong. The performer was unable to replace her head with a fake one. Although the performer tried to warn the magician about the problem, they didn't hear her because her mouth was covered and the music was so loud. Instead of applause, the room was filled with fright as the magician opened the box and saw the beheaded body of his performer, which is also his wife. Everyone started to scream because of the bloody head, while her husband was frozen to where he stands and couldn't believe what he has done to his wife. Number 2. Water Escape Fail. When you're swimming in the pool, you might have played a game, Hold Your Breath, with your friends. This is so much fun because you get to see who can hold their breath for too long and the loser shall choose between the consequences you all made up. But magicians, when they say hold your breath, that means their hands are chained and they are placed inside the huge glass container filled with water. What's the trick? With the locked up situation of the magician, he must successfully escape by unlocking the chains in his hands and find the key that will match in the padlock that holds the container. This is what the young man has practiced for and ready to demonstrate in a TV show. At first, the scene looks normal because he managed to take off the tight white suit and unlock the first padlock. However, when he was opening the second, he was losing his breath. Before he gets to open it, he was totally losing breath and rose between the bars to catch his breath. The paramedics immediately looked after him when he started to shiver. If he wasn't able to rise at that time, he could have suffered a brain injury, but good thing he withdraws before he passed out in the water. This just proves that this stunt is not safe for anyone. Number 3. Accidentally swallowing a coin. When people do something dangerous on TV, we can always hear them say, "Don't try this at home." This is the lesson that the little girl knew after she tried to do the trick that she saw from her favorite magician, Chris Angel. It all started when he decided to film herself doing the actual trick that she saw from the TV. What she has on the table was a Santa cup, a coin, and her phone that will document her stunt. The trick is, she will put one coin in her mouth, and when she spits it out in the cup, then it becomes two. All is set, and she smiled perfectly in the camera, telling herself confidently that she can do it. However, when she put the coin in her mouth and tilt her head back, she accidentally swallowed the coin. Her eyes is turning red and her eyes become teary. She moved away in the camera, telling that she would die. But good thing she was rushed in the hospital by her parents, and there they recovered the coin that almost took her life. Perhaps it wouldn't turn out this way if she just tossed the coin and bet. Number 4. Failed water escape from a river in India. Harry Houdini has inspired many people with his stunts. Most of them succeeded while others lost their lives trying to copy and surpass his trick. An example of this is the Indian magician known as Mandrake or Chankal Lahiri in real life, who tried to copy Houdini's trick but made it more dangerous, for he will try to do it in a flowing river. Riding a boat, they tied him with chains, ropes, and locked with heavy-duty padlocks. The challenge that he has for himself is to escape from the chains and swim out of the river. But things turned out in a messy situation when they dropped him into the river. Instead of floating or escaping from the chains, he was nowhere to be found after several hours. Unfortunately, his body was found the next day in the Hooghly River. Number 5. She nailed it. Guessing games are fun and exciting because you have no idea what's inside a box. But sometimes, they can be so dangerous. Just like what happened to the host of a morning show, Marzena Rogalska, who was caught in the camera being impaled in her right hand by a nail when a semi-finalist magician from Poland's Got Talent tried to ask her to slam on the brown bags in the table. As seen in the footage, the host agreed to participate. But little she knew that she will pay the price after slamming the wrong bag with a pointy nail inside. According to the magician, he got confused about which bag is the safest, so when he asked the host to slam it, he too was shocked to see that the nail was stuck in the host's palm. Because of this dangerous stunt, the host was rushed into the hospital to seek medical attention. Number 6. Bullet catch in the mouth. David Blaine is known for doing unbelievable stunts. But in 2016, he almost lost his life from a failed stunt, which is the bullet catch in the mouth. This happened during his show in Las Vegas, where the theater was filled with 20,000 guests looking forward to his show. However, they didn't expect to see what is going to happen next. David's plan was to pull the trigger and catch the bullet in his mouth using the metal cup that is placed between his teeth. Unfortunately, when he pulled the trigger by himself, the metal cup slid, so the bullet went through his throat. Stunned viewers were shocked to see the smoke coming out of his mouth. They thought that he wouldn't survive the shot, but thankfully, he only got an injured throat. With a malposition in his body that time, he could have shot his head that night when he pulled the trigger. What a lucky man! Number 7. Accidentally drank an acid. There are games invented nowadays where it involves music, different types of drinks, and of course, contestants. In this game, the contestants must dance around the table where there are drinks that are equal to the players. When the music stops, they drink whatever is inside. If you're lucky enough, you'll get a soda, but if you pick the wrong cup, you will drink the soy sauce. Same color but different taste. That's the trick of the game. This is just like what happened to the contestant in the TV show Vietnam's Got Talent. The semi-finalist prepared his performance to win the competition, but unfortunately, with his miscalculation, he almost lost his life. The trick that he was supposed to do is to choose one of the judges to shuffle the glasses that he prepared on the table, and one of the cups contained a sulfuric acid. After being shuffled, the contestant chose among the cups and drank it. A few seconds after, he spit it out quickly because he picked a glass that contained sulfuric acid. As a result, his mouth was swollen and he was rushed to the hospital to get treated with his second-degree burn. Now he learned that not all clear liquid is water. Number 8. Buried alive under the cement. Another fan of Houdini, Joseph Burrus, or Amazing Joe, tried to pull a trick that will commemorate the deceased great magician. However, he chose the wrong material in his trick that eventually cost him his life. The trick was supposed to be like Houdini's style, which is buried alive. But this time, he will use a see-through coffin and he will be buried underground using the wet cement. So try to imagine a brittle material being poured with a heavy wet cement. That's it. It will be crushed under pressure. That is what happened to the Amazing Joe of the US. Unfortunately, he didn't make it out alive when he was crushed inside. What a terrible incident during Halloween. Number 9. The ponytail. Having set a world record is something to be proud of because it is not easy to achieve. Many have tried to beat or mark a world record but end up being rejected with their entry. But this man in India has set 3 world records with using his ponytail. But after doing 3 records, his wife is pleading to him and requested to stop his dangerous stunts. To grant the wish of his wife, he agreed to do the trick for the last time. But little did he know that it would literally be his last. While he was doing his stunt, his hair got stuck in the rope, but unfortunately, his panic triggered a heart attack that caused his death. People who were watching didn't hear him when he was screaming for help because he was in the middle of his way towards the end of the zip line. They only found out that he was calling it quits when he was hanging lifeless on the zip line. Number 10. Failed levitation technique. Sometimes, when there's a big crowd, it's normal for us to feel nervous or frightened. But just like what they say, the show must go on. In this video, you can see how the partners were eager to amaze the crowd with their magic trick. The partners were ready to pull their levitation trick above the pulley using a broom. The magician first took off the mop on his partner's right angle, then he begins to lift his partner up to show their levitation trick. But what happened was a comedy because instead of levitating, she fell down on the floor. Well, good they were professionals. They cracked up laughing about the incident and shyly left the scene. We hope that you find our video today informative. They may not all end up succeeding with their trick. They taught us how a simple mistake can turn into a deadly situation. So before you do the trick, make sure you'll be safe afterward. Trying new things that you weren't able to do before is a milestone as long as you take every step with caution. What magic trick amazes you before when you were a kid? Please type it down in our comment section below. We thank you for watching our video for today. Please join us again next time for more exciting and informative videos. Ciao!